What's up guys, welcome back to your Heroclix headquarters. Today I wanted to do a team build video featuring my personal favorite figure out of the new Justice League Unlimited set, and that is this guy right here, Batman Beyond. I built two teams with him, so at the end feel free to let me know which one's your favorite in the comments. But without further ado, let's check out the teams. Alright, so of course to start with, we'll be using Batman Beyond. He's really going to be the headliner of both teams, so we'll just take a look at him first. He's got a 125 or a 75 point line. We're going to be using the full 125 points for both of these teams. So what can he do? He's got the Batman family, Gotham City, Justice League, Project Cadmus armor, Detective, Future, and Martial Artist keywords. We'll start with the Justice League theme team. We're going to be using him on Justice League for this one. He's got some improved targeting, hindering terrain there, which is going to be helpful. He's got a trait, Boom Tube Travel, once per game, phasing teleport. When Batman Beyond uses it, his speed value is 12, and after resolutions, remove an action token from him. So that's going to be useful to get into the fight quicker or to get out of it. I've played him a couple times now. If your opponent's playing a mainly close combat oriented type of team, definitely going to want to save that to get out of the fight. Otherwise, using it just to get in there without an action token isn't a bad idea at all. And then he has this other trait, Multi-Spectrum Camouflage. Opposing characters can't draw a line of fire to Batman Beyond if he is adjacent to blocking terrain. So that's going to be really helpful for us, especially in this Justice League team, and I'll explain that in a minute. But it's kind of like super stealth. Even if your opponent has characters like Batman Beyond that can see through hindering, it doesn't matter because he's adjacent to blocking, so it's his own trait that says you can't draw a line of fire to him. And then he's also got a special attack power. Some looks never go out of style. Precision Strike, free, choose one to last until your next turn. Blades, Claws, Fangs, Energy Explosion, Incapacitate, Poison, or Smoke Cloud. So you can use one of those powers and you have Precision Strike the whole time as well. And then on his damage, he also gets another pick a power. The Tomorrow Night, a different kind of bat. Leadership, free, choose one to use until your next turn. Close Combat Expert, Perplex, Outwit, or Shape Change. So lots of really good options there for whatever you need. Close combat, range combat, some supportive abilities like Outwit or Perplex. And again, he does also have leadership the whole time. Here's a quick look at his dial. He's got a 6 range double target, 10 movement with running shot and flight, 11 attack, 18 defense with invulnerability and indomitable, and a 3 damage. And he starts with both of those pick a power specials, so you'll have access to all of those cool powers. So he's really great, but what do we want to use to make him even better? So for this Justice League team, we're going to bring in Booster Gold. He's 80 points, and he is going to be kind of our secondary attacker and support character. As you can see here, he has the Justice League Unlimited trait, which at the beginning of your turn, you can roll a d6. On a 6, you can remove an action token from another friendly character with the Justice League keyword that's 100 points or less. So that's going to be helpful for pretty much everyone on the team except for Batman Beyond. He's a little bit over the 100 point limit for that. But that's fine because he also has this other trait, Barrier as free, but only to generate 2 markers. So that's really the main reason I wanted to include him. If you remember, Batman Beyond has the trait that whenever he's adjacent to blocking terrain, you can't draw lines of fire to him. And Booster Gold here can create blocking terrain for free every turn. So hypothetically, you will have blocking terrain adjacent to Batman Beyond all the time, keeping him completely protected from range attacks. And he also has a neat little special on his attack that gives him Incapacitate and Knockback. But his really good special is on his damage. He has Perplex, Probability Control, and when Booster Gold uses Perplex to target himself, he can instead modify a combat value except damage by +2. So Perplex and Prob is going to come in handy. +2 Prob on himself is really good. We'll take a look at his dial just to see what his stats are like. He's got a 6 range double target with that Incapacitate is pretty nice. He's got Flight with a 10 movement and running shot, 10 attack, 18 invulnerability with Indomitable, and a 3 damage. So he's got a pretty decently long dial. The ability to double perplex himself is incredibly helpful. He can get a 20 defense, a 12 attack, whatever you need, and if he has to clear tokens that turn, you can just use your regular perplex on Batman Beyond or whoever. So what you're going to want to do is you can keep them adjacent if you want, just to share the 2 squares of barrier, or even if he's like way off to the side and you shoot your barrier over here to help him out. As long as he's adjacent to blocking, you're good. And if he's already adjacent to printed blocking, you don't really have to do that. You can just put it in front of Booster Gold to keep him protected too. But Batman's own stealth can be good enough. If your opponent doesn't have any improved targeting, hindering type characters, then you can just keep him in regular stealth and let Booster Gold, use his +2 perplex on his defense, barrier in front of himself. So that way they really can't get to either of your main 2 attackers. And between his ability to pick Perplex or Outwit and have leadership, and his ability to have Perplex and Prob already, you've got basically all you need right there with just these 2 characters. But we've got plenty of points to spare, so I wanted to bring in Amanda Waller next. Take a quick look at her card to see what she does. She has a trait, because the world needs a Batman. During forced construction, choose a friendly character of 125 points or less with the Batman family keyword. That character has a feature keyword, and at the beginning of the game, choose a combat value this game. The chosen character modifies that combat value by +1. So even though he already has a feature keyword, we're just still going to be picking Batman Beyond for her trait, because as long as she's on the map, he's going to have +1 to whatever you want to pick at the beginning of the game, be it attack, defense, damage, range, whatever you think you might need, whatever might serve you best. And then on top of that, she's got another special that gives her leadership, outwit, and perplex. And when she uses leadership on a result of a 6 instead of the normal effects, she may remove an action token from a friendly character anywhere on the map. So that's really great. I would probably have Batman Beyond or Booster Gold fly her around just to get that leadership off. And then you've also got the outwit and perplex with her as well. So that gives us even more support. And the whole game +1 to whatever stat we need on Batman Beyond is going to be super helpful. And a quick look at her dial. She's got Stealth and Mastermind the whole dial. She's only 35 points. And don't forget that she can be useful for theme team probs as well. So she's going to have Leadership, Perplex, Outwit, and be our designated theme team probability control piece. And she's pretty well protected from the Stealth and the Mastermind, so you don't have to worry too much about her. So for only 35 points, she really brings a lot of good supporting powers to the team. But now, if you've been counting along at home, we still have 60 points remaining. And one thing I like to do with my teams is, if I have a lot of range-based characters, I like to throw in some type of close combat figure as well. So I'm going to bring in Hot Girl. She's only a rare, and she's great at either her 60 or her 30-point line. Just a quick look at what she does. She has improved movement characters, Justice League Unlimited trait like we've already seen, Nth Metal Mace, which says when Hot Girl hits a character with the mystical keyword, after resolutions, deal that character 1 penetrating damage. There's lots of really good mystical characters now, so getting just an extra penetrating damage can be pretty helpful. And then she also has Charge and Flurry on her movement special power. And take a look at the back, what her dial does. She's got 12 movement on her 60-point line with a 12 attack, 18 defense with combat reflexes, and 3 damage. And she's got Flight and Indomitable. With that Charge Flurry special for only 60 points, with a 12 attack, 12 movement, that's huge movement, huge attack value to get that Charge Flurry off on somebody. Now you could play her at 60 points and just call it a day. That'd be a pretty good team, the 4 of them, her at her 60-point value. But I actually wanted to play her at her 30-point line. She is almost just as good. You know, when you're using Charge, you're going to half round it up. So she's still going to have a 6 movement with the Charge either way. She still has an 18 defense with combat reflexes. So she still has 3 damage the whole dial. Really all she's losing is that 1 attack. So 11 is still really high. And for only 30 points, you know, that gives us a whole extra 30 points to work with. And so I wanted to bring in the Crimson Avenger. He's also only 30 points, and he's going to help round out the team a little bit. So we'll take a look at what this guy does. He also has the Justice League Unlimited trait, and he's got this really awesome other trait, Knockout Gas. Smoke Cloud as free, but only to generate 4 markers. When Crimson Avenger uses it after resolutions, choose an opposing character occupying or adjacent to one of his Smoke Cloud markers and give that character an action token. So that's going to be extremely helpful if we end up going against any type of one-man army type figures. You know, one of those teams with like 150, 200 point character. And if you just keep throwing that gas, giving that guy that action token, it's going to really slow them down. And he's pretty good by himself. Stealth, poison, 17 combat reflexes, 2 damage with perplex. He does have a 4 range, so he can make some ranged attacks. But really, that free Smoke Cloud is what he's here for. He can use that to give cover to Amanda Waller, Batman Beyond, or himself. I mean, even just giving the hindering terrain bonus to Booster Gold and Hawk Girl, you know, Booster Gold getting that +2 defense from his own perplex. He can throw out that hindering terrain. He's got a +3 from range now. Can get pretty crazy. He's got his own perplex too. He can also be a good use for theme team prob control. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this team. I really like it a lot. I think it's got a lot of good synergy with the free barrier, the free smoke cloud. You know, there's a lot of flight, so you can carry your support figures around. We got tons of perplex, prob, plenty of outwit, everything we need. We've got 2 good range attackers, 1 really good close attacker. I think it's a pretty well-rounded team. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, and we will move on to the next one. So for our second team, we're still starting out with Batman Beyond on his 125 point line. We've already taken a look at that. The first thing I always think of to pair with Batman Beyond is, of course, Old Man Bruce Wayne from Batman the Animated Series set. This guy is going to be super helpful for our Batman Beyond. Let's take a look at what he does if you don't already know. He's got a trait. Very good then, Mr. McGinnis. During Force Construction, you may choose another character with a Batman family keyword to become Bruce Wayne's apprentice. I accept nothing short of excellence. Once per turn, when Bruce Wayne's apprentice would miss with an attack, you may re-roll that attack roll. If you do, and Bruce Wayne's apprentice is named Batman Beyond, increase the result of the attack by +1. So that's going to be super helpful for us. You can basically just keep Bruce Wayne here all the way in the back in your starting area, and he can be re-rolling Batman Beyond's rolls with a +1 anytime he misses. And then he also has a stop click that gives him combat reflexes, and when this click is first revealed, you may generate an ace bystander. We'll take a quick look at that right here. There he is. He's got improved movement characters, charge, precision strike, defend, and battle fury. So ace is pretty mean, but hopefully it doesn't get to that. But if it does, you know, ace gives him some good backup. And then he's got this awesome damage power, which is outwit. At the beginning of your turn, you may choose that Bruce Wayne can't use outwit. And if you do, Bruce Wayne's apprentice can use outwit until your next turn. So of course, you're going to keep choosing to give Batman Beyond the outwit. He does have improved targeting, hindering, so he's going to make better use of that outwit if your opponent has any like stealthy characters. And that frees up his damage power to pick something else, like if you wanted to pick Perplex for his damage power, or Shape Change for some more defense, or a Close Combat Expert, or whatever else you might need. There's a quick look at his dial there. As you can see, he's decently long for only 40 points. Got the Batman team ability for some stealth too. That last click there, he's got some flurry precision strike, so he can also fight off some bad guys that come back to Bruce Wayne's manor to try and mess with him while Batman Beyond's out doing his thing. They're just so much fun to play together, honestly. It just makes me feel like replaying the TV show. I was a huge fan of that show as a kid, and it's just super cool to see them making these characters. But we still have tons of points left to fill out this team. So the next one I want to bring in is, of course, Commissioner Barbara Gordon. Take a look at what she does. She has a special attack power that gives her Incapacitate, and then as a power action, friendly characters with the police keyword within range can use improved targeting, hindering this turn. That's not really going to come up at all, but having Incapacitate is helpful. And then she has this awesome damage power that gives her leadership and enhancement. And now for only 35 points, She's got the police team ability there, and then she's got that leadership and enhancement. So she's going to be kind of like Amanda Waller was on our Justice League team. You're going to want to be using Batman Beyond to carry her around, get that leadership, get that enhancement, use her police team ability to make your attacks easier, and then even if you miss, you have Bruce Wayne there to re-roll it for the +1. So there's lots of good synergy there. But now we need another attacker. We've got good support figures. We need another attacker on this team. Another figure I've really been looking forward to using is this new Bat Cycle that we got. It's a convention exclusive Bat Cycle. We'll take a look at what it does. It has the pilot ability, high speed acrobatics, prerequisite, a character named Robin. It can use improved movement characters and modifies its attack and damage +1. So if you don't know the rules of how vehicles work, I will just leave them here for you to read. Feel free to pause the screen and read over all of these rules, because I could sit here all day reading all of the rules to you. But if you have any questions about vehicle rules, feel free to leave them in the comments and I will do my best to answer them for you. Now it does have a passenger 1, as you can see up there. Now to use this trait, you will have to have a Robin to pilot it. But then it also has this super awesome attack power that gives it Smoke Cloud as free, but only to generate markers in squares the Bat Cycle has moved through this turn, which is still really awesome if you can plan out your movement right. We'll take a quick look at its dial. It's got a 10 movement with hypersonic speed, a 10 attack, 17 defense with energy shield deflection, and 2 damage with empower, and then that Batman team ability, of course. So now we need a good Robin to pilot this. And now normally it does come with a Robin, and it's a very good one to pilot it, but I think I found a better one. From the Batman the Animated Series set, the Uncommon Robin has better stats, so we'll take a look at him. On his own, he's got improved movement, ignores elevated, hindering, and characters. He's got a dynamic duo special damage power that gives him empower, but only when he's adjacent to a friendly character named Batman. So that's not going to come up, and it doesn't really matter because the Bat Cycle already has empower. As you can see, he's got pretty good stats for a 50-point character: charge, 11 attack with precision strike, 17 defense with combat reflexes, and 3 damage. And he's of course got the Batman team ability. So why this Robin? Well, if we take a look at his stats and take another look at this thing's pilot ability, once Robin becomes the pilot of this Batmobile, it will gain improved movement characters, and it'll modify its attack and damage by +1. Now, one of the inherent abilities of vehicles is that it can take a free action to replace its attack, damage, and range values with that of its pilot. And it has to replace all 3 values at once. So we'll replace all of those values at once. It will get his 5 range, his 11 attack, and his 3 damage. And with replace then modify, you will then modify its attack and damage by +1. So you'll end up with a 12 attack, 4 damage, and 5 range. And you can still use its other ability. You can use an attack or a damage special power that the pilot can use. So in this case, we'll be using Robin's Precision Strike, and then taking another look at the Bat Cycle. So we'll be ending up with a 10 movement with hypersonic, a 12 attack with precision strike, 17 defense with that energy shield deflection, and a 4 damage with empower, and a 5 range, which when halved from hypersonic will still be 3. And of course, for 40 points for the Bat Cycle and 50 points for Robin, we're talking about basically 90 points. And once they've gotten through the Bat Cycle, then you pop out Robin. He'll take a click or 2 of damage from the Bat Cycle being destroyed. So he'll still have 3 or 4 clicks of life left. So we're talking about maybe 8 to 9 clicks long for 90 points. And those kinds of stats, I think, is pretty crazy, honestly. So this thing's going to be zipping around the map with hypersonic, ignores characters, ignores hindering just because it's a vehicle. That 12 attack, 4 damage, precision strike is going to be crazy. It's got empower, and with her enhancement, you're going to have +1 to damage on your Batman Beyond, pretty much as long as you're adjacent to either one of them. She could make a good theme team proper if you wanted to have her be carried around by the Bat Cycle. That'll work too. You could still make some ranged attacks with 3 range, with the enhancement and the PD team ability. And yeah, I think there's a lot of really cool synergy with this team as well. I love the future Gotham kind of strategy here, and we still got these guys from the animated series as well. So it's got a nice whole animated series Batman kind of feel to it. I really like both of these teams. This team actually still has 10 points left over, because we've got 125 for him, 40, 35 makes 200, and then these make 290. So we still have 10 points left on this team, which you could use for some type of equipment object, maybe a map bonus. Let me know in the comments what you'd pick to fill out the remaining 10 points. I'd love to hear about it. There's tons of great options. But that is going to do it for this team building video. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this team build video. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope you liked the teams. If you did, please leave a like on this video, and let me know in the comments which one is your favorite and why. And let me know what kind of cool combos you've used with Batman Beyond and how he's done for you guys. I've managed to use him on a couple games. He's been super fun. I really enjoyed him so far. And I mean, Justice League and Batman Family are about my 2 favorite DC theme teams to use. So that's kind of why I picked those teams to use him with. But yeah guys, thanks for watching again. Make sure you click that subscribe button if you don't want to miss any videos. We've been uploading almost every day, so we've got tons of Heroclix content for you guys to check out. But until next time, this has been Heroclix Headquarters, signing off.